All right, Bella Yamazaki here. Okay, just wanted to jump in here to show a combat. I pulled this initiative chit at the end of the last video. I did a March chit. The initiative chit allows you to change some clans' orders if they are in movement or they're in regroup and they're in an enemy zone of control. This isn't the case for any of these clans. However, you can choose one other clan to try and change orders. In this case, Hideyoshi decided to try and change Clan I into attack orders. They were actually a little bit further back here. And if you rolled a 1, they immediately go into regroup and have to withdraw. So there's a little bit of risk to using this initiative chit to do this. However, they rolled a 6. They succeeded. So I can actually kind of back this up here so it makes a little more. You can see how the combat, the charge works. So now Clan I is in attack orders. I've changed it over on the home gene. And then I'm going to take one of the units from Clan I and designate it as the spearhead unit. And in this case, I'm going to take this unit here of the clan. It's the best unit. So I want it leading this attack down here. So it's the spearhead unit. He has to move to the closest unit. He's got 3 movement points. No problem. He makes it there for 1. The other 2 units of his clan have to end next to him, if possible. They don't have to enter an enemy zone of control. They just have to be next to that spearhead unit. So this is the spearhead unit. I'm going to move this guy. He's going to go 1. These are open hex sides. They're 1 movement apiece. 2, and then 3. And I'm doing that for a couple reasons. One, obviously from, a point of, military or wargamey stuff, right? I'm exerting his zone of control. I'm cutting off his retreat path. But also he can support this attack here. Because the unit can only be attacked once during a phase. And so therefore I probably just want to attack with him and support with him. Although we'll see. I'll take a look at the modifiers here in a second. This guy can go 1, 2, and he's going to end up here for 3. Again, he doesn't have to end up next to that. He can end up, just has to be next to the spearhead unit. All right, so the spearhead unit's going to attack, and I'll go and do this real quick. Okay, continuing on with the assault. So both these units are going to combine to attack this unit here. We look at the combat types. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the attacker, and the attacker unit which moved to come into contact with the enemy unit. This is a Shingeki, an assault. So they're going to take their combined Elan and add it to their blue dice. Well, what's their Elan? He's got a 0, he's got a 2. I'm going to mark it over here. They have a +2 on the blue dice. And for the red, they get their combined mass strength. Here we have 2 and 2, so they're going to get +4 on the red dice. Okay. Moving down, we're going to see what the defender's going to do here. The defender's not an attack. It's not an attack, but it's fighting a moving attacker. So they're going to go Yari Fusuma, which is closing their ranks. They're going to get their firepower added to their blue dice and their Elan and mass added to the red dice, or in this case, subtracted from the attacker's dice. So the firepower here is a 1. So the 1 is going to be subtracted from the blue dice. And their Elan and mass, which is 5, is going to be subtracted from the red dice. And this is not looking like a great assault at this point for the Hideyoshi's troops. Okay, what else do we have? Well, we're going to go over here to the combat modifiers. There is no attacker or defender strength. None of them have taken any combat damage. If all the defenders are in movement or in regroup, it's +2 for the attacker. They are not. Clan N was able to change last turn into defense orders. So the attacker does not get that. There is no support. There is no Totsugeki. Now we're going to go to leadership. So we're going to have to decide how the leadership goes here. And we can either use this leadership for either dice. The attacker goes first. They have 1 point of leadership. You can see that 1 bar there. However, so does the defender. The white Hideyoshi is going to use that for red dice. And then Akichi's going to move that back, use their leadership to cancel that effect. All right, so our final dice modifiers here is blue is going to be +1, red is going to be -1. And we're going to roll these 2 sets of dice. Okay, so looks like a pretty good roll. Generally, high rolls are good in this game. All right, so we have 11 on the red, which is modified by -1, so it's going to be a 10 on the red. And then we're going to have a 9 modified to a 10 on the blue. So we cross-reference. This is the red dice 10, 10 for the blue dice, ouch. That's a D2, so that's going to be 2 points of damage on this unit. There is no retreat result, though, so they do not have to retreat. So this is a good thing because retreat would not be something they would want. So they're going to take a point of damage, and then they're going to flip over. Okay, so now they've taken 2 hits. And that's the attack. That's how combat works. There are different die roll modifiers and things. There's also terrain modifiers. There were none here. But that's kind of how it works. You can use support instead of using those die roll modifiers directly. So combat's relatively simple, but I think kind of interesting on how the blue and red dice work. They're not graduated the same way either. So like high blue dice tend to cause more casualties, I believe, than the red. Not entirely sure. Yeah, but I mean, there is this system, and it's just a little different. It's not the exact same kind of distribution of results on the table. Not entirely sure why that is, but that's the way it is. And I find it pretty interesting how combat's resolved. All right, so that's it. Show you a little bit of combat, and I'll continue on with the battle.